All right, guys, so today we're going to be going over a story of somebody in my Discord, somebody in this very community that used a very simple and easy method. It's nothing insane, it's nothing crazy, but he used this method to get an expensive skin at a massive discount. When I say massive discount, I'm talking about he made like an 1100% gain or 1100x gain on this skin, like something absolutely insane. I'm talking 99.99999% discount, and I think you can definitely use this to your advantage. I think this is definitely a strategy and a play that you want to have in your toolkit, that you want to have in your playbook. So we're going to be going over that simple method, that simple strategy today, and also this whole story kind of has a big plot twist ending that you're definitely going to want to stick around for. But of course, first, just want to mention my cash trading business. If you guys are looking to sell any of your CS2 skins, turn them into cold hard cash, crypto, or any other payment method, definitely hit me up over on Twitter. It's going to be the first link in the description below. You can also hit me up on like email, Discord, whatever. We can make it work. Of course, I like to buy anything and everything for the right price. But you guys know we like to get the big deals done. So if you have any expensive skins, gloves, knives, bolt cases, maybe you want to sell your entire inventory, whatever, hit me up. We can get a safe, quick, efficient deal done and help you guys get all cashed out. Of course, also just want to mention real quick, we have been streaming over on Twitch, twitch.tv/I_am_German. It's also going to be linked in the description below, streaming every Thursday and Friday. So come hang out with us over there. Maybe drop us a follow. Maybe drop us a prime as well if you got it. With that being said, let's get right into this video today. So here is something that I tweeted out May 31st. This was about a week ago where someone started posting this in my Discord. Again, this all stems from the fact that I had made a video a couple weeks ago saying that I was starting to buy Op Safari meshes, because Op Safari meshes, they are part of the collections that recently got removed from the active duty drops, or like the care package drops or whatever. And the Op Safari mesh, it's an insane skin. You know, it's got like 5 million of them in creation. It's got an absolutely insane supply. But even with that huge supply, it had been holding above the 3-cent price point. You know, this thing had been worth like 7, 8, 9 cents, whatever. And since it got removed, it had already started to pump up a little bit. So I wanted to get involved in that because it is the cheapest op skin in the entire game. And now that it's removed from the active duty care packages, it should like kind of go up over time. So I started setting a buy order at about 12 cents for these Op Safari meshes. And then, you know, obviously that inspired some other people. This guy in my Discord, he went and set it a little bit above me. He set this at 13 cents. And guess what? Something insane happened. I said this. One of my viewers decided to make a buy order for the Op Safari mesh since I said I was going to be buying some. His buy order picked up one with an iBuyPower Cato 14 sticker on it. Here is the screenshot of that. You can see here, this is an Op Safari mesh in field tested, the exact same one that I was trying to buy for 12 cents. He was buying them for 13 cents, and he picked up this. Now, obviously, when I heard this first, I thought, hey, congrats, man. That's absolutely insane. That's awesome. I love this. I love, you know, to see people in my community winning, making money, getting absolutely insane, crazy pickups. But also, I felt a little bit salty. I felt a little bit jealous because I'm like, damn, my buy order is at 12 cents, and he picked this up at 13 cents. If it would have dropped a little bit lower, and guess what? Over the past couple days, I have, once again, been getting some of these sold at 12 cents. For a while, I was buying them at 12 cents, but then the price went to 13, 14, 15, 16 cents, and I wasn't getting any fills at the 12-cent price point anymore. But now over the past couple of days I have, and I'm like, damn, I was just a little bit away from being able to pick up something insane, something sick like this. But also, hey, I'm happy that this happened to somebody in my community. I'm happy this happened to somebody because of me. He's literally like, hey, I saw you were buying the Safari meshes, so I went out and put this buy order in, and he got this. And again, here's that screenshot of you know, his history, where you can see on May 31st he has this buy order for 0.13 euro, which is probably actually more than that, like 14 or 15 cents, whatever. I don't even know the exact conversions, but he had this listed a couple cents above mine. He gets it the fill, and you can see there, he gets the Op Safari mesh and field tested with that iBuyPower Cato 14 on it. Absolutely insane. There it is in the inventory as well. 0.156 on the float, field tested. You can see there, it is very, very, very insane. Now, again, he paid about 13, 14, 15 cents, whatever. What is this thing actually worth? That is the interesting question. We can go out and look at something like float and try to compare to other similar crafts. You know, this is how you kind of price stuff. You try and find what else is like that out on the market for Op Safari mesh with the iBuyPower. Now, of course, it does matter where the sticker is, and if you have something like best placement, if you have on an op, you want it on the scope if possible. If you have something like this on the scope, you're going to be able to get a higher sticker price and stuff like that, but still, this is going to give you a general ballpark estimate. And you can see here, there is an iBuyPower Cato 14 on the Op Safari mesh minimal wear, listed for 125, but this has a 20% wear on it. Once they start getting scraped, the value is going to plummet. So that one is not really an accurate representation. we can see here that this one with 3 Cato 14 stickers on it, it's a Dignitas, it's a Fanatic, and an iBuyPower. This is going for about $230. But again, these stickers are way less expensive than the iBuyPower. You can see here the Dignitas is like $900, the Fanatic is like $300. So yeah, those are not affecting the price as much as the iBuyPower, obviously. So we know it's worth somewhere between $125 and $230. Probably closer to the $230, but we know it's for sure less than that. So I would estimate, I don't know, 200, 180, 170, something like that. And again, picking that up for 13, 14, or 15 cents is absolutely insane. We can also see here that the iBuyPower Cato 14 paper sticker in general is worth about $3,600. And we can also see here that a lot of this stuff is listed for like 5, 6, 7% sticker price, something like that. And obviously, if we take the 5% sticker price off of $3,600, we are going to get $180. So I think $180 could be kind of like a safe estimate for what this sticker, what this craft could go for. And then it turned out that this guy, once it was tradable, again, he picked it up on May 31st, so it became tradable like June 7th, June 8th, something like that. He reached out to us again, and he was like, hey, guys, this is in my Discord, which is also linked to the description below. He reached out on the Discord, and he's like, hey, guys, this thing is now, tradable if anybody wants to buy it. Then he messages us literally back like 2 seconds later and said, oh, my God, it already sold. So this pretty much means he sold it for quick sale because he listed an illiquid item, a Cato 14 craft. It's not super liquid, but it's not like, something that's just going to be flying off the shelves or anything like that. He listed a Cato 14 craft, and it sold literally within seconds, meaning he listed this too low for sure. This is €110. This is like $125 or something like that. And again, either way, that's a huge come up. 14 cents to $125. Absolutely insane. But I, messaged him right away and I'm like, dude, what the heck? Like, I can't believe you sold this thing for quick sale. You could have at least let us know, maybe somebody would have bought it. Maybe I would have bought it. You guys know I love to get the big deals done. And also I wanted to own this thing, just to make this video because I wanted to talk about this method for being able to pick up skins like this. And yeah, I was like, dude, if you're going to sell it for a quick sale, at least let one of us buy it or whatever. So he hadn't sold this on float yet, and he hadn't accepted it. And he was like, yeah, if I decline this, I'm going to have to, take the cancellation fee or whatever. But he didn't really care about that much because, again, he's only in for 14 or 15 cents. So me and him ended up negotiating, and I offered to pay him the price he sold it for. I offered to pay the cancellation fee for him, and then I offered to throw in a little bit of extra money as well. So we ended up, I think I ended up paying around between $140 and $145 in total for this, which, again, is like $20 extra from the $125 he's going to sell it for here. And yeah, so that is kind of the big plot twist. That's kind of the big craziness here is if we go to my inventory right now, we can see that I actually have this Off Safari mesh. Now, obviously, I would have much rather gotten this thing for 12 cents, which I wish I would have, filled my buy order at, and it would have been super nice and super insane for me to be able to pick this up at that price. I would have loved that, but obviously that is not what happened. This is a very unfortunate circumstance where instead of getting this for 12 cents, I am going to have to pick this thing up for, $140 or $145 or whatever. But yes, I do own this Off Safari mesh with the iBuyPower Cato paper on it as well. So we're keeping it in the family. We're keeping it in the I Am Germ community. Thankfully, I'm trying to show this off to you guys, but my head keeps covering it. But yeah, so I did end up buying this. Now, obviously, the point being here, the main thing about this video is the fact that you can use a method similar to this to actually make some money. There's actually ways to make this method profitable. Now, hey, this guy got insanely lucky. I'm not saying you can go, create buy orders and pick up a Cato 14 sticker all the time. Obviously, these crafts are absolutely insanely rare. Cato 14 stickers are not growing on trees, anything like that. But there are many ways you can utilize this method. And I think it's really funny because I've made a few trade-up videos before where, obviously for trade-ups, you need to get low float skins to be able to make profitable trade-ups and stuff like that. And in those videos, I talked about the different floats you need for some certain skins. And I always get comments that are like, oh my God, you're never going to get those floats. Those floats are way too low, or blah, blah, blah. It's going to take so long, blah, blah, whatever. But the fact that that's not true. You can definitely get low float skins from buy orders because, again, if you put out a bunch of buy orders and if you are patient and take your time and have enough balance to adequately be able to do this stuff, not only can you pick up low float stuff for trade ups, you can also just get low float snipes and stuff that you can then potentially sell for a higher price and get some overpay and stuff like that. But you can also, again, in methods like this, I wouldn't necessarily go hunting for rare stickers or rare crafts or anything like this. But if you are putting in buy orders for older skins, and I think that's a big thing here, the fact that the Off Safari mesh is so old, you actually have opportunities to get some crazy crafts and crazy stickers and stuff like this. If you're buying stuff from the armory or whatever, you're not going to get, right now I'm buying like FAMAS half sleeves and stuff like that. I'm not gonna find a FAMAS half sleeve with an I buy power sticker on it or a Cattle 14 sticker or whatever. That's just not gonna happen. That doesn't even make sense. But for older stuff, apparently every once in a while, some stuff slips through the cracks where people might not even know what they own, or people might sell it on accident or whatever. But the biggest way I think you actually can make money on this, and I think there could be potentially some ways to make money off this in the future, is by getting and going for pattern-based stuff from buy orders. Now, again, we recently had something like the Desert Eagle Heat Treated, where right at the beginning, people didn't even necessarily know what all the best patterns were. People didn't really even know what patterns were going to have overpay or whatever, and you could have been putting in buy orders for Desert Eagle Heat Treated, and I know people were doing this at the time on Steam, but not only on Steam, you can put in buy orders on any kind of website. You can put in buy orders on, Float or whatever marketplace you use or prefer, and be able to potentially get some blue gems or gold gems or purple gems or whatever, and be picking those up for market rates. Because again, if you just try to scroll through the listings, there's going to be a million people trying to snipe these listings or whatever. But if you do have a buy order, you are just getting stuff sold straight to you, and you can pick through the good stuff. And if there is something with a buy order price and a selling price that are kind of have a nice little gap, you could potentially just buy a bunch of stuff at the buy order, and whatever you don't want, or whatever you don't keep, or whatever doesn't end up being worth overpay or any kind of crazy stuff or whatever, you can just sell it back at the selling price. And yeah, after fees and stuff, you're going to lose some money, but you can get pretty close to break even on the bad stuff. And if you get anything good, it's kind of free profit, it's free money, whatever. And again, right now, it's not necessarily the best time to do this on Desert Eagle Heat Treated or a bunch of other pattern-based items or whatever, but if and when something new comes out, the first couple of weeks when people are still figuring stuff out, that could be good times to use some kind of buy order method for sniping to get stuff very, very, very cheap. It would have been very possible to pick up probably a ton of good pattern Desert Eagle Heat Treated at the very beginning when people were just kind of buying them, selling them, didn't really even know what was going on. You can also do this stuff with, the charms, pattern-based charms like the die-cast AK. You could have been picking up, blue gems or, some of the more expensive ones. You also could have been going for charm templates and charm patterns at the extremes like 9999 or a single digit charm number, whatever. That would have been very, very possible to pick up for buy orders at some time. You also had stuff like semi-precious where you could do that. You also have the new like XM1014 Solitude. Now, I don't know very much about this skin. I'm not saying this is one you should go out and do it for, but I know this is pattern based, and I'm sure there's patterns worth overpaying, underpaying, all that stuff. So I don't know, but I definitely do know that the kind of buy order method, again, whether it's on Steam or whatever marketplace you buy on, can definitely be used to get you rare patterns, low floats, interesting crafts. So one, you should always look through all the stuff that you're buying and selling. Make sure you're not selling anything good, at market price. Make sure you're not the ones kind of on the losing end of these trades, but look through the things you get. You never know what you're going to pick up. I looked through my Op Safari meshes that I've been getting on my buy orders. I didn't get anything crazy, a couple like Atlanta crafts or something like that, which is still pretty cool, but not anything like a Cattle 14 or anything like that. But you can go for rare patterns, you can go for crafts, you can go for all kinds of different stuff. You can go for low floats, and this is kind of a legitimate way to be able to get some very, very expensive skins at a huge discount. Again, this guy went from 14 cents to $140 in the matter of a week. As soon as it was off trade hold, this thing literally sold instantly to somebody else and then to me. He had so many buyers wanting to pay him, like I said, 1,100x gains in the matter of a week, which is absolutely insane. Now, again, I'm not saying this is something you can go and abuse or just print money off or anything like that, but it is one tool you want to keep in the toolkit of your CS2 kind of investing or trading or inventory, because it's definitely a method that could maybe one day end up making you a lot of money. Again, if some kind of new pattern-based item does drop in the future, those first couple weeks could be a way to make some good money. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But either way, I thought this was a really cool and interesting story. Wanted to share with you guys. Pretty much it for this video today. Hopefully I catch you in the next one. Until then, peace.